Hey you guys, it is Miss Barlow and I have a student with me. She will be helping me work through adding and subtracting rational numbers with like denominators. I noticed while grading some of your bell ringers that we have a lack of understanding when it comes to fractions and integers and adding them and subtracting them. We got a whole situation. So we wanted to take this time to just work on it one bit at a time so that we can get where we need to be. So we already know the rules for adding and subtracting rational numbers. If the signs are alike, you add and take the bigger number. Signs are different, subtract and take the bigger number. We say take the sign of the bigger number, but we mean the number with the greatest absolute value. So the first one that I will do for you, she and I will do for you, is negative 5 1/3 plus 2 2/3. Now, what I want you to notice is that both of these have like denominators, and that's going to be a plus for us. That's going to be a really good thing for us. Okay. I also want you to look at the signs. So here we have signs that are different, and when signs are different, we subtract. So I'm going to do my way, and I'm going to let her do her way as well, okay? So I'm going to put a line here just so you can see the difference. There is more than one way to do a math problem, and I kind of want you to be able to choose which one you feel more comfortable with, okay? So I'm going to write negative 5 1/3 plus 2 2/3, okay? Well, I know the signs are different, so I subtract. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to subtract 5 minus 2. When I subtract 5 minus 2, I get 3. Okay? Then I'm going to look, and I notice that my denominators are the same, so I'm going to go ahead and bring them over. And I'm going to subtract 1 minus 2, but that's a problem. I cannot take 2 from 1. If you have $1, there's no way that I can take 2 from you. So I am going to have to do something else. I'm going to have to borrow from the guy next door. So now, besides him being a 5, he's a 4. And I'm going to add 3 plus 1 because we know that one whole number that I just took away was basically 3 over 3. So I'm going to add that 3 to 1 to make that 4. This is my 2 over 3. And now when I go back, I'm going to say, you know what? That's not going to be a 3. That's 4 minus 2, which is 2. Then I have 4 minus 2 here, which is 2, and my denominator is going to be 3. So I'm going to get 2 2/3. Next, I'm going to let her, this student, I won't say her name, but I will allow her to explain how she's going to do it.
Okay, so I changed them to an improper fraction. So 5 1/3 as an improper fraction is 16/3. Then so since the signs are different, you subtract, but we're still gonna put the addition sign. And then 2 2/3 as an improper fraction is 8/3. And so when I subtract them, I get 8/3, and 8/3 as a proper fraction is 2 2/3. Oh yeah, 2 2/3.
Let's erase it like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. 2 2/3, absolutely. So to be honest, her way seems very easier than my way, but I just wanted to present both ways for you, okay? So let's look at the next one. We're gonna go to the next slide. And read that problem for me.
Negative 4 and 1 6
Negative 4 and 1 6
minus
minus
negative 3 and 36.
negative 3 and 36. Okay, so I'm going to put my side and her side. So I'm looking at my signs, and the first thing I see is click, click, boom. So for me, that means that I have a negative 4 and 1 6 plus 3 and 36. Okay, so the signs are different. So I subtract. So what I'm going to do is I am going to subtract 4 minus 3 to get 1. And here I am again, left with a situation where I have 1 minus 3, and I cannot take 3 from 1, so I'm going to borrow 1 from this 4 to make it 3, and I'm going to add 6 plus 1, so it's 7 over 6. I'm just going to bring down this 3 over 6. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and erase because things have changed. I have 3 minus 3, which is 0. And then I have 7 minus 3, which is 4. My denominators are already the same, so that is 6. And I know that I can reduce both of these by dividing them by 2, so I get 2/3 for my answer. The big dog was that negative 4 and 1 6, so my answer is going to be negative 2/3. Okay, so we're going to let her do her way to see what's going to be the better way.
Okay, so I know to add, and so because the signs are alike, so I'm adding 4 and 1 6 plus 3 and 3 6, but I'm going to change them to improper fractions.
Don't forget to make that a negative 4 and 1 6. Yeah.
And negative. So 25 over 6 plus negative 21 over 6.
Hit that button. Yeah.
And then I would get 46 over 6. And then when I change it to a proper fraction, I would get
46 divided by 6.
7 and 46.
So something is wrong here. We got to figure out because our answers do not coincide. So I think the problem here is that when we change these to a plus sign, we have to remember that the two negatives now make a plus. Okay? So the two negatives now make a plus. So we don't need that as a negative 21 anymore. That's just one big plus. Okay, so we're subtracting, and when we subtract 25 minus 21, what do we get?
4.
4. So we would have a 4 over 6, which equals to 2/3, the same as I got, but the only thing that I forgot to do, and you did, was that negative. So we were both right and wrong. So we're going to write this problem one more time, and we're going to make it clearer for you. We got negative 4. Give it to me. Negative 4 and 1 6
minus negative 3 and 36.
minus negative 3
And 36.
and 36. So we have to remember that we're going to make this into a plus sign. And the way that she likes to do it, which most of you do, which I think is pretty smart, is to go ahead and change it to an improper fraction, these mixed numbers. So 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25 over 6. And we want to make sure we keep that as a negative. Our plus sign, 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 more is 19, 20, 21. 21 over 6. Okay. Now the sixes, the denominator is 6. We just have to remember that the signs are different, so we subtract. And when we subtract, we're saying 25 minus 21, which gives us 4. Okay, the big dog was that negative 4 and 1/6. So we're going to put that negative sign on our answer, and we're going to simplify it to negative 2/3. How do you feel about that? Okay, so I want to give you a couple to try tonight for homework. Okay, I'm going to only give you 4, and you can choose the student way or the teacher way. I think the student way is probably the easiest, but that will be your choice. And you will have 4 questions. The first one will be negative 2 1/3 minus 1 2/3. Okay. The next one is 5 6/7 minus a negative 2 3/7. Okay, the third one would be negative 5 1/5 minus 3/5. And last but not least, we will have negative 2 2/4 plus 3 1/4. So this is your homework for tonight. You will do it on loose leaf paper, and you will put it in the yellow folder in the back of the classroom. We want to work on these continuously so that we can improve our proficiency in adding and subtracting rational numbers. I want to thank this wonderful student for helping me. We pressed through, and I wanted you to see some real live mistakes that can happen and often do, so that we can correct them as we make them. So once again, that's your homework, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one.